What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking the 5 best late round values for the 2024 fantasy football season. Now, obviously, it is still May, early on, but that doesn't mean there aren't discrepancies in player evaluations. And if we had to bet on it, these are 5 guys that are ranked way too low right now in May, where you could take advantage of that situation at this point in time, because come August, come September, their values will go up. It's all you really need to know. So with that being said, sit back, relax. If you enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear in the comment section, do you agree, disagree? What other players would you put in this category? Along with any other questions, we'll do our best to answer them all. But with that being said, let's get into it. And as you can see, we have got the imported early rankings via Fantasy Pros up here for all the positions: quarterback, running backs, wide receiver, and tight ends. We have not touched these at all. This is on a PPR basis. So with that being said, without further ado, let's get into it. Again, these are going to be later round players because, there's no point in focusing in the first 1, 2, 3 rounds. Now, there's going to be good values there, but, these are guys that we think are disproportionately lower on these rankings. So that's why we're going to do some scrolling here, but we finally get to our first name, and that is George Pickens of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, look, the situation in Pittsburgh the last couple of years, the problem has started at the quarterback position. Finally, they said, okay, we're going to move on from Kenny Pickett. They bring in 2 guys, not one. They bring in Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Honestly, whoever wins that quarterback battle, I think both are a lot better of passers and fantasy aids for the value of the wide receivers there than Kenny Pickett ever was. I mean, look, even if you're not a Justin Fields truther, look what he did with DJ Moore last year. And he's going to a pretty decent situation if he wins out that job. Russell Wilson with Sean Payton was able to kind of have a bounce back season. And I still think that he can support a fantasy relevant wide receiver. And even more so when you look at the situation in Pittsburgh. And the reason I say that is because the last couple of years, George Pickens has been that, 1B to the 1A of Diontae Johnson. Diontae Johnson is no longer there. And, on top of that, there were still times where Pickens outperformed Diontae. Now he's the clear-cut number 1 guy at the wide receiver position. Like, what are we talking about here? Who's the next guy after? It's Van Jefferson? That's who I have to worry about? No thanks. Or, incoming later round draft capital rookies? Again, not too much competition there. George Pickens is the main guy. And right now, him being ranked 62nd overall, that's pretty crazy. I mean, depending on the size of your league, this could be a 5th round selection, a 6th round selection, potentially getting him as a flex wide receiver where I think he could, this could be the breakout season for George Pickens. Everything is pointing up. Trust me when I tell you, his ADP will steadily rise as we get closer and closer and people come around to the fact. So he definitely kind of highlights the start of these guys. Now, next, we go to one DeAndre Swift of the Chicago Bears. Now, look, I get it. The Chicago backfield, it could be a little bit better. You've still got Herbert, you've still got Roshan, but the Bears just paid decent money to DeAndre Swift, starter type of money to DeAndre Swift. And you got to follow the breadcrumbs where they come. And the Bears are going to be a good football team this year. Offensively, it's a completely different situation. Caleb Williams is that guy at the quarterback position. It doesn't matter if he's a rookie. And in terms of weapons, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze. I mean, this offense is going to be airing out the football, and DeAndre Swift is going to be the first guy up to get those opportunities in the red zone, those short rushing touchdowns. He's a good pass catching running back as well. He proved it on a short-term deal this last year in Philly. I think he can do similar things in Chicago. That offense is so much better. And again, 71st overall, where potentially, again, 6th round type of value, 7th round, we're talking maybe as your RB3. DeAndre Swift, I think, could put up similar type of numbers like he did last season in Philly, but I don't think there's going to be as many ups and downs. That's the thing. Chicago is really well positioned here, and I think this is going to be an offense that you're going to want to buy into. And the thing with DeAndre Swift is I think he's the clear-cut number guy at his position, whereas, with the wide receivers, you could say, well, there's too many mouths to feed. Keenan Allen is great. DJ Moore's great. Odunze's an elite rookie wide receiver. I think DeAndre Swift is going to start out the season as the main guy, unless there's an injury or something like that. I think DeAndre Swift is going to get the bulk of the opportunities. I'm definitely going to take a chance on him at this ADP. Next up, we continue to scroll down a little bit more here, all the way to 81 overall, Diontae Johnson of the Carolina Panthers. And look, I get it. Probably in a situation right now, Carolina coming off the worst record in the NFL. Not many people want to touch that offense. But the Panthers did everything in their power to help Bryce Young. And even though, that might not translate to the most wins or whatever the case might be, there's still fantasy success here. There's pockets of it. We saw it last year with Adam Thielen. Now, sure, he wore off as the season progressed, but that was a combination of things, head coaching changes, age, usage in general, and Diontae Johnson is the primary guy. Carolina traded for him, and if you look at his stats, at his route running, this guy is an elite route runner. Now, we don't know if he's going to be in Carolina long term. That doesn't really matter. We're just talking about the 2024 season. He's the primary guy. He is. You look at age, you look at production, as long as he can stay healthy, he is the number one wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers, and I think he will be utilized as such. In PPR, he is going to be a stud like he has always been, and I think we're going to see, A, an improvement in Bryce Young, B, an improvement in that offense in general, and Diontae Johnson gets a quarterback upgrade. I realize Bryce Young struggled last year, but it's still a better situation than with Kenny Pickett. The Panthers invested in the offensive line as well, so that's going to precipitate, hopefully, a lot of success throughout that offense. I love Diontae Johnson at this value. I think he's a high-end wide receiver, too. There's going to be more than 1 week, in fact, where he is putting up wide receiver 1 numbers in PPR formats. I truly believe that. So Diontae Johnson screams value to me. Next up, we go to Marquise Brown, Kansas City Chiefs. Look, this one is simple. With the Chiefs, they've been looking for that type of alpha wide receiver since Tyreek Hill left. Yes, Rashee Rice last year was a great selection, and he delivered right out of the gate. But right now, there's some question marks, namely off the field issues. Are there going to be suspensions, TBD? And sure, they drafted Xavier Worthy, but I think Marquise Brown, the more experienced guy, signed a 1-year deal. He's, this is kind of a show me season. If he can stay healthy, Marquise Brown has some similar traits to that of a Tyreek Hill. I think Patrick Mahomes is entering this season with some really good weapons. And considering that Marquise Brown, again, veteran guy, proven, as long as he can stay healthy, the success will be there. This is the best offense, the best quarterback he has played with. So I'm excited about the situation. You compare him to, the other rankings on that offense, he's the best value to me. I think, again, if 85th overall, wide receiver 3, even as a bench guy, he is going to outproduce his ADP. And now we get to the final name on our list, Kyle Pitts of the Atlanta Falcons. And look, I get it. Kyle Pitts has pretty much burned everyone since his rookie season. He was hailed as the next elite tight end, and it was kind of disappointing these last couple of years, to the point where you were probably dropping Kyle Pitts and you're sick and tired of giving him probably any more chances. But again, the good thing here is it's not going to cost you much. The recency bias, the current ranking 91st overall. If you're going to draft, a tight end in that tier of like tier 3 guys, Kyle Pitts is right around that category. He might even drop to a tier 4 guy at the tight end position. Kirk Cousins was added to this offense, folks. You've got new head coaches there, and it's not going to be just, run the ball, not utilizing your tight end as much as you would like type of situation. Kyle Pitts is an elite playmaker, pass catcher, athlete. Kirk Cousins, as long as he's available at the start of the season, he's going to target Kyle Pitts. He has targeted his tight ends. Look at the success TJ Hawkinson had. It started with Kirk Cousins. And after Drake London, you could argue that the Falcons' best, second best pass catcher is Kyle Pitts, if we're excluding the running back position. So the Falcons had a chance to upgrade that position in the draft with their rookie. They could have drafted Rome Odunze. They didn't. So I think the opportunity is there. And we've seen Kirk Cousins support multiple fantasy relevant weapons. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. So I think you should be really, really excited for Kyle Pitts. It's not going to cost you a damn thing. You could easily get him as a stash piece, as a high upside guy. And if Kirk Cousins plays up to Kirk Cousins standards, Kyle Pitts is 1,000,000% going to outproduce his draft capital. So I'm excited about him. You're not really invested anything into it. I know he's burned you, but the circumstances are different now. So I would give him a chance. And with that, we kind of round out this early top 5 list of immense values in the later rounds that we guarantee you the ADPs are going to go up. But let us know your thoughts. Did you agree, disagree? Let us hear it in the comment section. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.